Hammer a T-nut into the hole at the bottom of the SL support. Then position the SL support beside the extended end of the back ground. Connect the two using a wafer bolt. After checking to make sure the SL support is at a 90-degree angle from the background, use a wood screw to secure it in place. Position the slide RT flange and the slide LT flange so that they connect together. Attach them with 3 pan bolts on one side and 1 on the other. It's important the pan bolts are always inserted on the side with the round recessed area and the lock nuts on the hexagonal side. Now fit 2 slide elbows together. They connect with 8 pan bolts. When you're done, assemble 3 more elbow sections. Connect the slide exit top with the slide elbow. Use 8 pan bolts to attach the parts. Make sure the lock nuts are installed on the side with the hexagonal recess. With some assistance, move the flange assembly into place at the opening in the crow's nest area of the playset. Make sure the edges on all 4 sides fit into the opening and the bottom of the slide is flush with the deck. Inside, pre-drill 4 holes at least an inch deep along the bottom. Then fasten the flange assembly in place using 4 pan screws with screw bezels along the top and bottom. Use 5 pan screws to attach each side. Move one of the elbow assemblies into position at the opening of the flange assembly. Line up the large arrows on both assemblies. Next, attach a slide clamp ring over the connected edges on the top half of the assembly. It's important to make sure the end of the slide clamp ring lines up with the arrows on each assembly. Use the Quadrex driver to ensure the holes are aligned. When they're lined up, secure the slide clamp ring in place using 3 pan bolts and tighten. Position a slide clamp ring at the bottom where the flange and elbow assemblies are connected. Once again, it should fit over the connected edges. Next, connect the 2 slide clamp rings to each other with a pan bolt on each end. With some help, position an elbow assembly against the elbow assembly that's already attached. Line up the arrows to ensure the orientation is correct. Then attach a slide clamp ring to the top of the joint assemblies using 3 pan bolts. Remember that the end of the slide clamp ring should always match up with the arrows on the assembly. Use the Quadrex driver to make any adjustments. Attach a second slide clamp ring, this time to the bottom of the joint assemblies. When the arrows are aligned, secure the slide clamp ring in place with 3 pan bolts. Then use 2 more pan bolts to connect the 2 slide clamp rings together. Double check to make sure all of the arrows and seams line up, then tighten all of the bolts. Connect the final 2 elbow assemblies to the slide. When you're done, locate and remove the pan bolt nearest the fort on the clamp ring connecting the 3rd and 4th elbow assemblies. Loosely attach the slide support using a pan bolt. Make sure you're connecting it to the shorter, slightly bent end of the slide support. Now position the other flat end of the slide support against the SL half panel. Attach it in place with a pan screw. Then tighten the pan bolt. Insert T-nuts into one side of the SL support. Then place the post mount in the correct position on top and fasten it loosely with 2 pan bolts. On the slide assembly, remove the pan bolt and lock nut near the top of the SL support. Slide the post mount into its place around the edge of the slide clamp ring and secure it with the correct hardware. With some assistance, line up the edges of the exit elbow assembly and the slide exit. Connect the two by inserting the flanged edge of the exit elbow assembly into the slots on the slide exit. Rotate the slide exit until the holes are aligned. Then connect it to the exit elbow assembly with 5 pan bolts and tighten. Position the exit end assembly against the elbow assembly. Then fit a slide clamp ring on the top of the joined assemblies. Fasten them using 3 pan bolts. Remember, the seam where the clamp rings connect should always line up with the arrows on the slide. Now attach a slide clamp ring to the bottom of the joined assemblies. Then secure the slide clamp rings with 3 pan bolts. Connect the slide clamp rings together using 2 pan bolts and tighten all of the bolts. Drive a rebar ground stake 13 inches into the ground near the base of the SL support. Be careful not to damage or break the washer while you're hammering. When the stake is in, attach it to the SL support with a pan screw. Then check the ground stake carefully, and if necessary, file down any sharp edges or touch up with outdoor paint.